guys. Good morning. Hope everyone is doing well out there. Glad to have everybody here. Let's go ahead and turn down the stream or the audio here a little bit. What's up, everybody? Hope everyone's doing good this morning. Actually, up here pretty early. I am running on fumes, my friends. We are. I barely got any sleep at all last night. But it's for a great cause because, like I said, we got ourselves a pretty nasty hurricane or cyclone, typhoon, whatever you want to call it. In these areas, it's actually called a cyclone in northwestern Australia. We are seeing this powerful system getting very, very close to landfall. Now, right now, I know my title says a Category 5. It is forecasted to be a Cat 5, but right now it's a Category 4 as of the latest updates here at a maximum sustained winds of 150 miles an hour, or for the people out there in Australia, this goes off of kilometers per hour at 241 with the central low, I don't know if I already mentioned, of 929 millibars, which is a very, very strong low-pressure system, obviously. Here on the radar, we can actually see here towards Port Hedland, this storm is already basically driving its way to the southeast and getting ready to make landfall within the next few hours. So we're going to be covering that here for you guys today. Actually, I do have some very interesting information because not only do we have this cyclone that's making landfall in northwestern Australia, but we actually have a system that's causing some impacts here for the United States as well. And we actually have a tornado watch that's been issued for portions of Florida, areas here of southwestern Georgia and southeastern Alabama. So these areas are what we were looking at. All right, let's see here. So who do we have for today? We have Brady, we have Aviation, we have Gene, we have Prepper, we have Jazor, we have Julie, Logan, Andrea, Morna, Viper, Kobe, see Glam. We have, what's up, everybody? Hope all of is doing well. Logan says that eye is perfectly symmetrical. It is definitely. And you can actually see that satellite view. It looks like it might be trying to undergo a eye wall replacement cycle, which is basically what these cyclones do. And like I said, I mean, it's already starting to cause some pretty nasty impacts here for areas of Australia. Let me actually bring you guys over here to the actual satellite view to a bigger screen so you guys can actually see this. I mean, it is a pretty aggressive looking system here. And like I said, you can see on the previous imagery, we had a pinhole eye, a very, 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 very small and compactly tighted eye wall there. And like I said, that thing's been hurling its way right towards northwestern Australia here. And like I said, this thing has a pinhole of an eye right now. And like I said, it is definitely forecasted to strengthen all the way up until the point it does make landfall here. So that is what we are going to be monitoring in this live stream here. Not only this system, but like I said, once again, everybody, there's actually a little cyclone subtropical system that's impacting the southeastern United States. So we are going to be watching out for this one as well. And like I said, they actually did put out a tornado watch, believe it or not, already this morning across the ways. Look at this. We're already starting to see a lot of wind gusts being reported out there towards the coastlines, as we were mentioning. I don't know if y'all seen that last forecast that I put out on our not just on the channel, but we'll also put it out on our Twitter as well, in which I will show you guys what we ended up posting here a moment ago. This was a little bit ago. This was 8 hours ago I posted this here. This is a personal forecast that I actually made myself. And you can actually see this was the forecast. And I said winds may exceed 45 mile an hour wind gusts. Once again, this was 8 hours ago. This is actually late yesterday I issued this. And what are we already seeing right now? Well, I'll tell you what, we're already starting to see those winds in excess of 45 miles an hour. Actually, I see a 46 mile an hour wind gust right there near Panama City. So, yes, definitely the coastlines are already starting to feel this. We got a bunch of special marine warnings in effect. I'm sure they're for water spouts. Water spouts and wind gusts 34 knots or greater. So whenever it comes to it today, my friends, we are seeing the possibility for tornadoes. Actually, all hazards today is a concern. And believe it or not, the Storm Prediction Center has actually issued or upgraded the risk here that we were looking at yesterday. We just had that marginal risk there yesterday. Storm Prediction Center now has a slight risk here for today across the southeast. Now, what does a slight risk mean? Well, that means a bigger threat for severe weather overall. And let me go ahead and bring you guys over to that right now. So, yep, slight risk, big old slight risk stretching all the way across portions here of the southeastern United States, and they actually put a 5% chance for tornadoes. The overall greatest potential here for tornadoes is existing across like southwestern Georgia here into southeastern Alabama. That's where we have a 5% chance of that. They upgraded the damaging wind probability to a 15% chance of seeing damaging winds 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts or more. When it comes to hail, still kept that 5% region, but they actually extended that 5% region down into Florida as compared to what we did see here yesterday. So they did put a lot of upgrades here in the latest convective outlook. So something we are going to be watching out for. And like I said, if you guys are just tuning in here, not too long ago, they actually issued a tornado watch for portions of the panhandle of Florida, and they did include like areas of Tallahassee, Panama City, Apalachicola. We have Niceville, moving down into southeastern Alabama now for like Dothan and let's see here, what is Enterprise, those regions, and also southwestern Georgia towards like Bainbridge, towards like Colquitt, Blakey, Thomas, those regions out there. But that's kind of what we're seeing here. Rich says, good morning. Good morning, Rich. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, like I said, it's definitely pretty early. This is not the time we usually go live. But like I said, I mean, in certain circumstances, Mother Nature just doesn't care whenever, nature strikes. I mean, it's just crazy. But the good thing is that we are here and able to give you guys the latest updates regarding these two systems here. Like I said, we're actually tracking not one but two systems on the stream. We're tracking the tornado possibility there for today in the United States on the southeast side. And, of course, we're tracking this huge behemoth of a storm, Category 5 here. Like I said, Category 5, or actually right now it's an upper Category 4, but like I said, an intensification up to a Cat 5 is kind of expected by the time it makes landfall. Very, very symmetrical eye, as you can actually obviously tell here. So it's a very, very strong system here. Like I said, it does look like it might be undergoing a eye wall replacement cycle, as you can see there on the satellite view. So that might be something to definitely watch out for. But anyways, right now, maximum sustained winds are at 150 miles per hour. That's constant winds at 150 with higher gusts. Let's see. Jazor with a $2 super chat. Thank you so much, man. Saying hello, Andrew. Thank you for the coverage. You're very, very welcome, my friend. No problem. Thank you. Greatly appreciated for that. But like I said, I mean, this thing is definitely a pretty beefy storm here. And like I said, we can already start to see those bands moving in towards Port Hedland now. Like I said, they're definitely getting close. Now, the main event, the main eye wall, or the main part, whenever it's going to be making direct landfall, is not going to be for another hour or so. I'm going to bring you over here to the models. So here is the HWRF model. So as we track way down in time, I know you guys can't really see the time here, which I'm going to fix that for you, or I'm just going to tell you where this is at. So this is showing right here at 11 o'clock a.m. to actually move this a bit ahead. Not supposed to make landfall, according to this, until like 1 or 2 in the afternoon now, in Eastern time. So like I said, they did kind of push it back. Now, that's kind of a problem because it gives it more time to potentially strengthen as it makes its way inland. So obviously we're going to have to watch every moment. Like I said, obviously we're going to have to watch every single moment here, with the system. Like I said, Port Hedland, you guys are definitely in a pretty sticky situation out there because I'm sure you guys are definitely going to be feeling those winds. The good news is that it could be worse in that you're not going to be in the worst of the storm. This thing is expected to make landfall relatively just east of Port Hedland. I'd say, here, let me actually measure this here. From Port Hedland to the inner eye wall, or the center of the eye here is about 78 miles. So, hold on. Got a new warning coming through. But from the eye wall itself, if you don't know, the eye wall is the outside of the storm, or the interior portion on the edge of the eye. That is what we call the eye wall, and that's where the worst conditions are expected. That's about 65 miles away from Port Hedland, or forecasted to be. Kind of, once again, right around here, around 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Anyways, but we got ourselves another warning that's been issued. As you may or may not know, we have a lot of wind gusts being reported out there now in areas of the panhandle of Florida at the moment. We just got a new special marine warning that's for this guy right here, just south of St. Marks, south of Sop Choppy, south of Crawfordville. that is what we're seeing here. Let's see. This is obviously probably for water spouts. Yeah, we're probably going to see a lot of water spouts and even a few tornadoes today. Definitely does look like a big possibility out there. And like I said, with that being said and all, they actually did issue a tornado watch across portions here of of course, portions here of the panhandle of Florida, southwestern Georgia, southeastern Alabama. So overall, like I said, this does cover a decent little area here. 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts out of the maximum of these storms, max hail side, quarter size. But that is kind of what we're talking about. Let's see here. Good morning, Barbara. Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here. Mike says I got distracted by Instagram. Now I'm a half hour late for work. Oh, that's not good. James says the storm is massive. Yeah, it really is. It is a pretty big old storm. And I tell you what, we're going to switch y'all back over here to that radar view for a moment. Like I said, here's the current radar view. So from the eye wall to eye wall, that is approximately about 16, 17 miles. So that's like I said, it's a pretty small eye wall, believe it or not. Yep, it's pretty much symmetrical. I mean, 100%. I mean, it is completely. Yeah, like I said, it is completely symmetrical at this moment, so that's pretty interesting. Like I said, the smaller the eye wall, or the smaller the eye is, I should say, basically, like I said, basically the smaller the eye is, essentially, the more stronger the storms are. Let's see, it is a Cat 5 now with estimated or expected landfall at 2 a.m. local time in West Australia. So, yeah, for you guys, it's going to be later on than what it is right now, because the sun's coming up here in the East Coast, U.S. Let's see here. Let's see if I can get that latest update here from it. Oh, yeah, you're right. It did. It just got upgraded. All right, we're going to go ahead and fix that real quickly, y'all. So, it is now a Cat 5. Yep, it is a Cat 5 with a central low pressure of 922 millibars. There you go. We're now down to 922, and maximum winds here, let's see, it's at 135 knots, which is equivalent here to, let's see, it's at 135. This is equivalent to 155. Actually, believe it or not, that is still Category 4, even if it's at 155. It has to be 157 or higher to be a, yep, it has to be 157 or higher to be a Cat 5. So it is still a Category 4. But I would not be surprised if it did get upgraded to a Cat 5 before landfall. But it is right there. I mean, it is right on that boundary. But I mean, regardless, we are like topping out at maximum upper level Cat 4 right now. So we are like right there. And like I said, from what it looks like on satellite imagery, if we take you all back over here to that, you can actually see it in the just below me. But I'll go ahead and make that view a little bit bigger for you real quickly. So when it comes to it, you can actually see how the eye was very well, very well and maintained. You see a very small little pinhole eye here. And over the last few frames, it's kind of started wobbling a bit. So this is likely undergoing what we call a eye wall replacement cycle. We got a few bands of convection that is starting to kind of pop up there, just kind of around the eye wall here, which that could be replacing the center eye of this thing. Because like I said, this thing is definitely starting to have its nasty effects here on Australia right now. I'm sure it's definitely getting pretty nasty out there. But overall, I mean, you can see just how nasty if we loop this. I mean, it's just a beefy system here. And like I said, well, obviously, we're going to be here in order to give y'all the coverage tonight. What website am I listening to? Weather Radio. Let's see, noweatherradio.org. That is it. Anyways, but yeah. Definitely a beefy system here. And like I said, we're not just watching Australia here tonight. Like I said, or today. I'm always used to be live at nighttime. But for this morning, we're not just covering the big old tropical cyclone up there in northwest Australia, but we're actually tracking the United States as well, because we have a similar... I wouldn't really say similar, but it's a system, a cyclone, that's moving inland across the Gulf of Mexico. That's going to be bringing the threat for some, strong wind gusts out there, a few tornadoes, a lot of water spouts. Does seem to be the case. We actually have a lot of really strong wind reports coming in here from areas near like Panama City. We're actually seeing 43-mile-an-hour winds. Let's see here. This was as of 11:38 UTC. Current time is, let me double double check on that. Current time is 12:16 Z. So this was a little bit ago. We're actually reporting a 43-mile-an-hour wind gust at St. Andrew Bay Mesonet. So that is essentially what we are. So it's going to bring this back up. There we go. So pretty strong winds. We have a 46 one here west of Panama City. Let's see, look at this. Wind gust 43. So we're definitely getting a lot of strong winds right now. And like I said, that's going to be one of the main concerns here out of this system impacting the country. Let's see. I'm going to go and bring up this pen again. Because, like I said, we have a bunch of these winds that is basically screaming their way here to the north. If I can actually get this to work. Yeah, my pen's having a problem. Let's go ahead and shut this down real quickly. But like I said, we have a lot of these strong winds here in excess of excess of 45 miles an hour. And like I said, whenever it comes to it, these winds are screaming here to the northeast, northwest here, definitely really moving at a pretty, a pretty fast pace here. And like I said, that's obviously going to be, pushing all of that water inland, essentially. Here we go. I got the pen open. I don't care about your advertisement and stuff. Here we go. But like I said, all these winds are going to be pulling up in this direction. So that's going to be allowing for the possibility of some coastal flooding to occur. Nothing significant. Like I said, once again, it's not a hurricane out here towards the Gulf Coast anyways, but it is still going to have some similar effects in terms of possible coastal flooding. Like I said, tornadoes, the overall tornado probability. Let me actually go ahead and bring you guys over to that really quickly. Like I said, they actually really grew up the tornado probability here for today to a pretty big risk across the southeast. So look at this. Anywhere in these shades of colors, we have the dark green and we have the brown. So the brown is a 5% chance of seeing a tornado within 25 miles of you. The green is a 2% chance of seeing tornadoes within 25 miles of you. So overall, like I said, that's, not really high percentages, but like I said, it covers a vast, large area of land. And like I said, whenever you have a tornado threat over a large area of land, that obviously kind of, increases your overall probability of having tornadoes for that day. So today, it is going to be very, very, I'd say pretty likely to see some tornadoes from Florida to Georgia to Alabama. I mean, who knows? Maybe even east central Mississippi does have a chance for a few possible tornadoes. I'm going to go ahead and turn down the no weather radio a little bit. But like I said, that's just kind of what we need to look out for. And now, obviously, like I said, the bullseye when it comes to tornado probability is across southwestern Georgia. Also, a small little sliver in southeastern Alabama regarding that. Damaging winds right there, hail right there. So that's kind of, the overall views of what we're looking at right now. Anyways, a little update here on the radar, guys, with the big old nasty cyclone. I think it's pronounced ILSA. I believe... Correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's ILSA, but it's still a upper level category 4 here with maximum sustained winds of 155 miles per hour. Now, like I said, it only has 2 more mile an hour away to be classified as a category 5. So it is right there, and like I said, it's still a decent ways off the coast here. Let's go ahead and measure this actually. So this thing's obviously, the good news is it's not going to make a direct landfall over Port Headland as the other day, as we've seen that as a possibility, but now it seems to be steering pretty much east of Port Headland here. But as of the latest frame here regarding its distance, we're going to go ahead and measure this here. So when it comes to the inner eye wall all the way to the coastline, we're about roughly 50 miles out, essentially. So overall, that's kind of the distance whenever it comes to how far the inner eye wall, the worst part of the storm. Like I said, the worst part of the storm is right in here. These are this is the worst side of the storm right in there. And so obviously that's where your strongest winds are going to be expected and all that fun stuff. And like I said, we can already start to see those rain bands already start to move inland here. I mean, Port Headland has already dealt with a few of them, as you can actually see in the previous radar scans. We've had a few of those. Now, as the system does barrel closer to, obviously, move it closer to Port Headland, these more inner bands are going to be a little bit more powerful. Okay, so that's definitely what we need to be looking out there for. And like I said, back over here at the satellite imagery, y'all, it's pretty crazy looking. Like I said, it's definitely pretty crazy looking. I mean, that eye wall, we have a pinhole eye. I tell you what I mean by that is a really, really itty-bitty eye that is on this storm. So you can actually see it's been shrinking in the last few frames. I mean, look at that. Like, that is just a little itty-bitty pinhole eye there. Like I said, that's pretty crazy. Anytime you see a really small eye like that, that really does show you that you have a very strong storm. And we can actually confirm this too. I mean, obviously just by looking at it, but on the northern flank of the storm, you see a lot of purple and kind of pink, I should say. A lot of that pink is, upgrowing convection, meaning that that's a lot of thunderstorm growth that's occurring inside of the hurricane or cyclone, typhoon, whatever you want to call it. They're all the same thing, just called different names. In this area, they're called cyclones, we found out. But when it comes to it, I mean, like I said, this thing is definitely barreling very, very close here to these regions. Let's see here. ILSA. Okay, Julie says ILSA is indeed pronounced ILSA. Gotcha. Some people pronounce it ILSA. Okay, I'm gonna call it ILSA because that's kind of what it sounds like to me. Usually, I'm pretty bad with these names and stuff like that. But yeah. Let's see here. So, but yeah, like I said, the system is definitely really cranking here. Let's see here. Winds are 315. What kilometers is? What is that? Were you meant to say knots? I was about to say it's not moving no 350 knots. Holy cow, dude! Wow, that would be like a. I don't even think that's possible. Yeah, it's not possible. Wow, that would be pretty crazy. Let's see, those cloud tops are insane. You want to see something that's actually insane is we do have 3D radar here. I'm sure I just blew a lot of your guys' minds here. Let's go ahead and play that. So yeah, you can see that as it's slowly making its way inland here. You can actually fly into the inner eye here. Let me look at this. Yeah, there you go. Big old donut. Speak of morning time. Just, yeah, pretty aggressive system. And like I said, I mean, it's definitely what I understand is that this is not moving into any very populated areas. Now, I could be wrong with that, but I definitely know that the good news is that this is actually moving its way, away from areas of like Port Hedland, which is good. It's definitely moving away from those regions, which, like I said, that's definitely great. But like I said, with that being said, that's not going to be a total miss. I mean, Port Hedland, I'm sure right now is dealing with a lot of craziness. Let's see here. 22-mile-an-hour sustained winds, which that's honestly really not that bad. I mean, let's be real. 22-mile-an-hour winds, that's not bad at all. But like I said, that definitely could be increasing. Obviously, it will be increasing as the system does kind of barrel through. And like I said, this thing is expected to, you can see in the latest radar scan, it's actually starting to lose its symmetrical shape here. Because like I said, I think it is undergoing a eye wall replacement cycle here. But like I said, yeah, this thing is plowing right for the northwestern coast here. Once again, they actually extended the time of landfall. They were originally saying around now is when this thing would make landfall, but believe it or not, it's still, like I said, still 60-something miles off the coast. And like I said, whenever it comes to it, I mean, like I said, we're now expecting a landfall here around 2 p.m. Eastern. I don't know exactly what the conversion is to Australian time, but anyways, but like I said, I mean, we're just gonna have to watch this and see what it does. I'll let y'all know whenever we do get close to my Australian friends. But yeah, you can actually see all those rain bands really making its way here towards Port Hedland. I know it's kind of hard to see because there's a lot of spikes out there, just a bunch of clutter from the ground of radar. But Port Hedland is right there. That is right where Port Hedland is. And like I said, as we track way down in time here, if I was to play this in motion, see some of those rain bands hitting it. Here comes another one right there. And like I said, once those inner rain bands do make their way towards Port Hedland, that's obviously where you do have like I said, a bigger overall threat, to all types of hazards. So definitely keep that in mind there. Let's see here. Let's see, Category 5. It's close. It is close. And like I said, it is expected to be a Cat 5 on landfall, which is horrible, which is not good. I mean, like I said, right now it's only 2 mile an hour off sustained from being considered. I mean, it might very well be a Cat 5 right now, but the latest update, from sources, has this thing at a very upper level Category 4. Like I said, right now, maximum sustained winds here of 155 miles per hour. Like I said, that is crazy. That is crazy. Let's see. It's now 8:25 p.m. in West Australia. So it's 8. Oh, so that makes things easy because it's directly 12 hours around. So makes sense. It does make sense. So right now it's 8:30, almost 8:30 Eastern. So it'll be 8:30 p.m. Okay, I could deal with that. That's actually pretty easy to go off of. Thank you, Morna, for that. Greatly appreciated. Let's see. Does Australia have cyclone hunters like the hurricane hunters? Um, I honestly don't know, but I would not be surprised if there was some enthusiasts out there who are definitely tracking this. Hey, there you go. There's Australia in comparison to this little cyclone. Now, the size of Australia, this cyclone looks like nothing. I mean, this cyclone looks like a little speck compared to Australia. But like I said, with this map and all, this is not a true scale. I know. I'm just saying that. Just according to this map, it looks pretty small. But let's see. Western Australia is 14 hours. Okay, so now I'm confused. Let's see here. Let's see here. But yeah, but that is kind of what we're seeing here. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and bring you all back here to the United States here for a moment, because like I said, we have a little bit of an issue going on here across the U.S. as well. If you don't know what's happening here, y'all, we got ourselves a cyclone that's making landfall, whatever you want to call it. It's moving inland here, and it's going to be causing the possibility for tornadoes, water spouts, I mean, you name it, coastal flooding, all kinds of problems. And like I said, right here towards like Panama City, I mean, we're already seeing a lot of reports of some heavy winds. Like I said, in excess. The biggest one I've seen so far was around 46 mile an hour wind gusts has been reported here, as you can see towards let's see, County of Bay, Florida. 2 miles north of Magnolia Beach. And this was at 11:42 UTC, magnitude of 46 mile an hour wind gusts. We got a few of these bands from this system that's rolling through too. And as you can actually see, we just recently, as you heard and probably in the beginning of the stream here, we did have ourselves, like I said, we actually did have ourselves a special marine warning that was issued here not too long ago. Like I said, talking about water spouts being a possibility. So, like I said, yeah, we're going to have to watch out for water spouts. Honestly, if I was you guys and if I was a boater out there, I would seriously, like I said, seriously, I would highly recommend just staying at port today. I would not go out in these conditions because, like I said, it's just definitely going to be pretty nasty out there regardless. So we're going to need to be on high alert here across these regions. I mean, you can actually see the buoys out there, reporting, or ship observations, either or, is reporting these winds, kind of moving southeast, and then once you go up here to the coast, you're moving northwest. So you can obviously tell just by observations, we got a pretty broad area of low pressure that is, spinning up right now. And like I said, if you guys did not know, they actually issued a tornado watch here for portions of southeastern United States. Like I said, for portions of the panhandle of Florida, southwestern Georgia, southeastern Alabama. So they did include areas like Tallahassee, Panama City. You guys are inside of this. Like I said, you guys are inside of this watch here. And like I said, this watch does expire at 2 o'clock here. It expires at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. So just as a little bit of a thing here for you. Just to let you know. There we go. We're gonna hide that. There we go. That's a lot better. But yeah, like I said, this does cover a decent chunk of the panhandle. Majority of the panhandle is under this watch here and will be for a little bit. If you're wondering what these yellow things are, these are all special weather statements. Not quite strong enough to be severe thunderstorm warnings, but they're getting there. Like I said, we got this guy, 40 mile an hour wind gusts here towards Pensacola being possible. And like I said, all that. So we're also going to be watching out for the possibility of some tornadoes. And like I said, the tornado probability actually does stretch out all the way up as high north as like pretty much northern, pretty much northern Alabama. Let me go ahead and show you all really quickly once again. Yeah, this is your tornado threat for today. So everywhere across the shaded colors here is inside of a form of tornado threat here. Like I said, obviously there's two different percentages. We have a 2% chance and a 5% chance. Now, like I said, within 25 miles, that means you either have a 2 or a 5% chance, depending on where you're at, of seeing a tornado within 25 miles. So every 25 miles, you either have a 5 or a 2% chance of seeing a tornado drop down somewhere in that boundary. So now when it comes to it, like I said, obviously, the highest percentage, as you can obviously tell, of seeing tornadoes today is across southwestern Georgia and a small little sliver here in southeastern Alabama. Okay, so that's kind of where the highest tornado threat does exist. And that's actually kind of where they issued that watch for the most part. is across those regions. So we take a look here back at the watch. You know, obviously a little bit further to the south, the majority of the biggest risk is right here. I can actually overlay it for you guys too, which we'll go ahead and do that right now. There we go. Tornado risk out there. Perfect. So you can actually see how the watch has been displaced a little bit southwest. You know, would not be surprised if we did get extensions possibly into that 5%, but you never know. But like I said, I mean, all of these regions here, you know, across the dark green and the brown, like I said, that's your overall tornado threat here for today, you know, across those regions. So we'll definitely need to be keeping an eye here on not just Australia, but also need to be watching this here as well across, you know, the United States, because we have another little system that's making landfall. Definitely not as crazy as this guy up here, as you can see in the top right. Yeah, definitely not as crazy as that. Barbara says it's 7:40 a.m. Central Time here in Odessa, Texas. I'm up early to this because I got to get ready for work. Praying for all to be safe. Absolutely, Barbara. Yeah, like I said, I'm, you know, typically I'm usually sleeping a little bit longer than, you know, where I'm at right now. But like I said, obviously since, you know, Mother Nature just throws weather at us at random times, obviously I'm going to be live here as, you know, whenever I can be. And like I said, this is definitely a system that we need to cover. I mean, like I said, I typically do not cover storms outside of the United States, but like I said, this is just one of those cases where we got to. Because, like I said, it's just something that we can absolutely not ignore. And like I said, I mean, this is just a very, very mean system here. I mean, like I said, this thing is like literally 2 mile an hour off sustained from being a Cat 5. And like I said, it's still a couple of hours away from the coastline. So it definitely looks like it is forecasted to hit Category 5 as soon as it makes landfall. That is kind of the overall forecast here. So we obviously are seeing that. I mean, like I said, we can already see those bands rolling their way in here towards... what was that town name again? Let's see, what was that called? Forgot. Was that Port Hedland, I believe? There we go. There you are. Kind of caught a little cave inside one of those rain bands there. Yeah, but you can see right there, Port Hedland. That's exactly where this is, you know, occurring. And like I said, obviously you can see those rain bands are working their way towards Port Hedland. I mean, we've already seen a lot of them, but like I said, once you move into those interior ones, that's where things get a little rough. And like I said, that's where you're going to see those heaviest winds, and that's where you're going to see all of the nastiness occur. Just a lot of harsh conditions overall. Brandy says, good morning, Andrew. Good morning, sorry, I almost called you Brandon. Let's see, Brandy. Sorry. It is early. I'm sorry about that. Let's see here. Andrew says hello from Perth, Australia, as we have a Category 5 cyclone heading our way. Glad to have you, Andrew. And fun fact, that's actually my name as well. So, pretty cool having Andrew all the way halfway across the world. But like I said, yeah, definitely stay safe out there, man. This is going to be one that we are definitely going to need to keep an eye out there for. Let's see. Latest update has this thing clocking in at 130 knots, or this is equivalent here. Oh, did they downgrade it? Oh, shoot, they downgraded a little bit. Oh, because like I said, you know, if we take a look here back at the satellite imagery, this is probably why. Like I said, this system is currently undergoing a replacement, eye wall replacement cycle. Like I said, obviously what's happening right now is the eye wall inner structure is kind of wobbling a bit, but it's getting its act back together. It should be. Let me go ahead and switch you back over here to the satellite so you can actually see that. So you see how it's well maintained in a circle, and now it's kind of like getting really small and starting to kind of fizzle out a little bit. That is because it's it's basically redoing its eye wall there. So basically what that said, it's going to weaken a little bit temporarily, and then it's going to probably kick back up in strength right there before landfall. I mean, like I said, it did go down a few miles an hour. It was from 135 knots now down to 130 knots. So let's go ahead and update that really quickly, give you all the latest. Pressure on it, it's still the same. Or hold on a minute. It did go up a little bit, actually. Yep, it's 929 millibars. Interesting. Okay, back at 929 millibars here. And overall sustained winds. Let's see, I'm going to do the conversion. So this is 130 knots, which is 150 miles an hour. So it just dropped 5 miles an hour, which really does not make a whole big difference, believe it or not. So 150 mile an hour to kilometers per hour. I have to do some conversions here, y'all, because I'm not used to these. Let's see, 150. So that's 241 kilometers an hour. So we'll go ahead and drop that back down. All right, back down to still Cat 4, still a really upper level Category 4 up there. So it still is a beefy system regardless, but I really do think this thing is going to be breaking that Category 5 margin as soon as it makes land, or just before it makes landfall out there. So we're going to need to watch out for that. And like I said, also, if you're just tuning in, if you're across the United States here in the southeast side, we might have a little bit of a risk for you. Because like I said, anywhere you see this green and this brown, you have a tornado threat today. Stretching all the way down, they actually moved this. They actually withdrawed it out of Tampa. Earlier in yesterday's outlook, they did have this tornado probability, that 2% green area. Inside of Tampa, they actually removed that tornado probability. But it does go all the way down to Miami now. So it goes all the way from Miami. If you don't know what happened in Fort Lauderdale earlier, holy cow, they got flooded out. Turns out they got like 20-something inches of rain in from one storm. Ridiculous. I mean, it was nuts. We actually did watch this here yesterday, or last night's live stream was pretty daggone crazy. But like I said, I mean, this rides up the whole entire eastern Florida area, just south of Savannah for the most part. Goes through Orlando, goes through Jacksonville, Tallahassee, Panama City, just north here, mostly of Pensacola, and it actually goes in as far west as far east central Mississippi. So like I said, this is your tornado threat for today. It looks like a big old frying pan, doesn't it, with an egg on it? That's interesting. So yeah, we got ourselves a pretty decent sized tornado risk here for today. Even though it's not the highest probability, it's a pretty big size, meaning that a few tornadoes will probably be more likely. But then like I said, on top of that, they have a tornado watch that they issued here a little bit ago, not too long ago, which is in effect here until 2:00 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for maximum hail up to quarter size, because there will be the possibility for some hail too. Damaging winds maximum could be up to 70 miles an hour, and obviously, like I said, obviously this is a tornado watch, so a few tornadoes can indeed be expected. So we'll definitely need to be looking out for this. Not just Australia we're watching in this stream here today. Like I said, we're also watching, the United States as well. I mean, U.S. weather, Australian weather. I mean, you just two things. Both of these systems are impacting at the exact same time, which is just crazy. Uh-oh. We got a tornado warning. First of the day, y'all. Oh, we're going to hear this on the radio, I'm sure. Yep. Just popped up. There we go. This is actually for that area of the special marine warning we heard earlier. Okay, so tornado warning in effect here for areas of Medart. We have Sop Choppy, Panacea. I think that's how you say that. Panacea, which is basically east here of St. Teresa. All right, let's switch over here to Tallahassee radar. Yeah, this is tracking mostly south of Tallahassee here. Let's go ahead and see. There it comes. Yep, there you go. Bit of rotation right there. All right, let's turn this up so y'all can hear the warning. But yeah, no, there is a bit of rotation in that, as you can see right in here. Get ready to move its way inland.
The National Weather Service in Tallahassee has issued a tornado warning for South Central Wakulla County in Big Bend of Florida, Northeastern Franklin County in Big Bend of Florida, until 9:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 8:38 a.m.
Y'all can read along here if you want.
A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 18 miles east of Carnival, moving north at 30 miles per hour. Hazard, tornado. Source, radar indicated rotation. Impact, flying debris will be dangerous.
Yeah, you can see it starting to pop up there.
Shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This tornadic thunderstorm will remain over mainly rural areas of south central Wakulla and northeastern Franklin counties, including the following locations: Alligator Point, Shell Point, Medart, Buckhorn, Ball Point, Panacea Wakulla Airport, Spring Creek, Sop Choppy, Tully, and Panacea. Take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows.
All right.
If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Repeating, a tornado warning has been issued until 9:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time for the following counties in Florida, Franklin, and Wakulla.
Heard it there, folks. All right. So if you don't know what just happened, y'all, like I said, we're actually watching two systems. So if you get confused of why we're taking a look here at the United States, there's actually two systems. I'm going to turn this down for y'all so it's not blasting loud. But like I said, there's actually a new tornado warning that just got issued. So if you're here towards Panacea, here towards Medart, here towards Sop Choppy, I would recommend definitely moving into your interior portions. We have this band from this one system that's rolling through the Gulf right now, and this band, once it moves inland, it could definitely produce a few water spouts. Like I said, obviously a few water spouts, as well as, you know, like obviously tornadoes. As these things move inland, they could be capable of producing a few tornadoes. So gonna have to watch out for it. All right, we're going to switch y'all back over here to the current situation here with Cyclone, I almost said hurricane. These are, and here towards Australia, they're called cyclones, but they're the same thing, just different names. But this is ILSA, which is currently getting very, very close to making landfall here. As you may have noticed here in the last few frames, the eye wall has been getting very, very thin. It kind of, you know, we kind of lost the eye wall there for a little bit, in which obviously, you know, it's definitely... you know, getting closer, but this thing is right on the boundary of a Category 5 hurricane. Like I said, it's just, you know, about 7 miles an hour off from being a Category 5. Like I said, it did get a slight downgrade. It lost 5 miles an hour because, like I said, it appears that this thing might be undergoing a eye wall replacement cycle, which occurs whenever the storm's, you know, eye starts to get a little bit wobbly, and then it basically, you know, recatches itself, and usually at that point it does weaken briefly for a moment, and then it kicks back up into strength. Think of it as shifting gears in a car. So think of it like you said, you're in second gear and you get to high RPMs and you need to shift it into third gear, so you're not producing any power at that moment. If you might even lose a little bit of speed, and then once you kick it into another gear, you get a bit more speed. If that makes any sense, that's kind of the closest thing I could represent this to. I feel like that was a really good representation. But anyways, yeah, that's kind of what this system is doing here. And like I said, this thing is forecasted to actually be a Category 5 right there on landfall. And yes, I see a comment here asking if this is hitting Australia or the United States. This one's hitting Australia. This one's in northwestern Australia. I'll go ahead and zoom out here so you can see it. Let's go ahead and see. We're going to switch y'all back to that one view. I'm going to turn this back to 2D for a moment. So there's Australia, and it's hitting on the northwestern side. Now, like I said, obviously here in the United States, not everything's fine and dandy either, because we have this other system is kicking off, and like I said, that's what we just got that tornado warning for. So you're going to see me hopping back between, the United States Gulf Coast, and then you're going to see me hopping to northwest Australia quite a bit. So it's going to be kicking off. If you want to know, it is not a tropical storm that's hitting Florida, even though it's very close in a lot of similarities. Now, there's going to be some coastal flooding, possibly some mild coastal flooding with this storm here for the Gulf Coast. Also, tornadoes, as we determined, is going to be one of the big concerns today for the United States. Once again, overall, here's that tornado probability extending for the dark green and the, like I said, the dark green and like I said, the 5% region, which is 2% chance across the green and 5% chance across 5% chance here across the brown. But overall, that is kind of what we are seeing. So a pretty large tornado threat exists. And once again, they do have a tornado watch number 133 that's been issued until 2 o'clock p.m. here, in which we'll definitely watch out for. It is now a Cat 5, says Morna. Interesting. For my end, I still see that it's updated at a 130 knot Category 4 currently. Central low of 929 millibars. That's the current information that I'm getting right now. So, anyways, a little update here, y'all. Once again, they did issue a tornado warning here for portions of the panhandle of Florida. Right here, heading in towards like Panacea. I think that's it. Or Panacea? Is that Panacea? I believe Panacea. I'm just going to say Panacea. Medart here as well, and Sop Choppy. We're going to watch out for this. Let's see here. Tabletop with a $2 super chat saying tomorrow severe weather. Severe risk in Wilmington, North Carolina. Okay, so you, my friend, are right on the edge of a marginal risk there. Level. Yeah, look at this. Level 1 out of 5. But tornadoes is not a concern. Yeah, Wilmington. Here, I'm going to show you real quickly. Wilmington's right here, and you're inside that generalized thunderstorm risk, so you're not expecting any severe weather to occur. Let's see here. Morna says that was 3 hours ago. No. Did I know of? Let's see. 12. This was updated as of 12 UTC. Which, let's see. Current time here. 12:46. Yeah, it is a little bit outdated. Interesting. No, it's not. It's not 3 hours ago, but it is 45 minutes ago. So we'll just gonna hide that. Yeah, no, we'll get we'll figure this out here. Hold on. Anyways, but yeah. But like I said, we just have two of these systems. I mean, of course, at the right freaking time, at the same time to one another. I mean, we are seeing ourselves, these two systems that's rolling through. Which, like I said, is definitely pretty crazy. But once again, thank you so much, Tabletop. Greatly appreciated. Let's see. So the latest scan here from radar has this thing. Let's see. This is right there. So the edge of the eye wall is about 45 miles. Yep, roughly about 45 miles away from. About 45 miles away from the coastline here. So it's getting closer. Yeah, no, this thing is definitely. I mean, you can see this thing. Yeah, it's. You can obviously see that easterly track it's taken here. See it's going directly south for a moment, and then it started curving. That's interesting. So, like I said, it looked like it was going right there for Port Hedland, but then it just kind of curved a little bit. Which that's good. That's definitely some great news for the people out there in Port Hedland. But like I said, you're definitely not going to be leaving unscathed because, like I said, we are going to be seeing a lot of these inner bands also impact Port Hedland, which, like I said, could bring tornado probability of its own and all that fun stuff. So definitely something we're watching. But right now, we're getting reports of 22-mile-an-hour winds out of it. So that is definitely not that bad. Yeah, 22. Let's see here. Am I gonna go live tonight? Probably not because I'm going live right now. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'll determine that later. But like I said, yeah, this thing is definitely getting very, very close here. Let's do a little update here on this tornado warning situation. Like I said, once again, there's actually a tornado warning here for the eastern panhandle of Florida. That's popping up here. Although it does seem like that rotation has bleeded out a bit. I mean, you can see how there's a bit of rotation right here. And as we move closer inland, it does seem like, it might be picking back up again right there. Yeah, it looks like it's now moving over land, actually. So this is all water right here. This is all land. Let's see here. Andrew says is hitting my land of Western Australia. Like I said, Andrew, if you have any questions or anything, like I said, please let us know. We're going to be here for you. I want to make sure that you are, staying safe out there. The whole reason we're streaming today is just, make sure that you are, staying up to date, all that stuff, because like I said, we care about y'all. Want to keep y'all informed, absolutely. No, we're starting to get some pretty nasty gusts out. Wow, look at that one. That's our biggest one we've seen so far. 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts out there reported near right next to Panama City Beach, actually. Panama City Beach is a wind gust report here, 50 miles an hour as of 12:41 UTC. So this was as of 9 minutes ago. So that was really not long ago, actually. And like I said, you all can see this big old pink box above my head here. That's a tornado watch that actually issued for portions of Florida for the Panhandle, including Tallahassee once again, and as well Panama City, Apalachicola as well. So those regions there. Let's go see correlation coefficient. Yeah, nothing on that yet. Yeah, definitely a storm we should definitely consider watching. It's a lot of those individual ones you got to look out for. Also, this big line of this big old band of thunderstorms, from this cyclone here, or the subtropical system, whatever you want to call it, in the Gulf. That is currently what is something we got to watch out for as well. Because, like I said, even those lines can produce those. So keep an eye on it. Also, for even the people out there in the water, water spouts. That's a big problem, towards those locations and stuff. Let's see here. Barbara says, gotta go for now. Love y'all. Will be in my prayers throughout the day for everyone in the path of these storms. Take care, y'all. Be safe. You too, Barbara. Thank you for joining. Julie says, wants to know what software I'm using. I'm using a collective of softwares. Bunch of them. This one right here, if this is the one you're looking at, this one is called this is called GR2 Analyst, which, like I said, it's $250 for this guy. And then I got a bunch of other ones too. Like I said, I'm running 4 programs right now on my stream, which pretty crazy. Plus all these browser sources and all. Crazy, crazy stuff. Yeah, but no, it actually looks like that rotation might be fading out a bit. So that might be some good news on that tornado warning there. Once again, this is for the eastern panhandle of Florida there. Yeah, right now we're getting a lot of these wind gusts across the coastlines. You know, we might even have some cameras actually out there. I know Florida has some good cameras, a good camera network actually here in Florida. Let's see. I think there's some here towards the coast if I'm not mistaken. So I hope so. That would be pretty nice to have. Oh, here we go. Pensacola Beach, which, yeah. Man, Pensacola is kind of out there. Yeah, let's go ahead and switch over to the camera really quickly. I'm just curious to see what this is going to look like out there. So we have a big old network here of cameras. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's obviously not live. At least I don't think it is. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it's a break in the sun. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can see that camera shaking a bit. See, the closest thing there towards Pensacola was a 40-mile-an-hour wind gust. It's being reported. Now, it looks a little bit windy out there. I'm sure it probably will be. Sure, it probably will be. All right, so here's the latest radar coverage on Cyclone ILSA. Still currently reading our latest updates as of 12 UTC. Maximum wind gusts here of 130 knots. Sorry, maximum winds, not gusts. Maximum winds of 130 knots, which is equivalent to 150 miles an hour, or 241 kilometers per hour. Yeah, those bands are really getting ready to cross over Highway 1 here in Australia, right on the northwestern side here. Will the storms hit Illinois? No. No, Illinois is too high up north. Especially not this guy, because this one's on the other side of the world from Illinois. This one's in Australia. Like I said, we're actually watching 2 systems here, y'all. I know it's a pretty hectic morning. We got this one system that's having some issues. I'm going to show y'all really quickly. Yeah, you can see this guy. If I was to play this here in motion, you can kind of see that cyclonic rotation. Kind of hard to make out because it's actually a lot of dry air over in here. But we have this big old obvious band that's rolling through. Yeah, we got to watch this band because this thing could produce water spouts and tornadoes once they move inland. So, and hence that's why they actually put out a tornado watch over there. So, really got to watch out for some tornadoes today. And speaking of, like I said, they do have a tornado warning that's in effect here for the next 35 minutes. The radar indicated threat, meaning that radar's just picked up some rotation on it. But like I said, the good news is it looked like that rotation has bled out a little bit. Still wouldn't call you an all clear right now because it still does look like maybe a little bit of an indentation is occurring, or a little bit of a couplet, I should say, is still there. So, still remain in your shelters. Let's see here. West Virginia, yeah, same thing. These storms are way too far south for you. So that's good news. That's good news. Let's see. So back over here towards the areas of coastal Florida. Like I said, if you guys are wondering what this big old pink box is, like I said, this is a tornado watch that they've actually issued here. This is tornado watch number 133 that's in effect here until 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern time or 1 o'clock p.m. Central. Maximum wind gusts up to 70 miles an hour with the maximum hail size up to quarter size is kind of what we're talking about out there. So, we'll keep an eye on it. Let's see. Will there be a tornado threat in South Carolina? No. There's actually a risk for severe weather, mostly just damaging wind gusts, but as of now, there's no tornado threat for South Carolina tomorrow. Yep. Yeah, like I said, today's tornado threat exists across all of these shaded colors. So if you guys are across the dark green, there's a 2% chance of a tornado dropping within 25 miles of you. And of course, if you're across the brown, which is the biggest threat, you have a 5% chance of having a tornado drop within 25 miles of you. See, thanks very much. No problem. What about Oklahoma? Yeah, Oklahoma's not expected to see anything out of this in particular system. Although I will tell you, my friend, we do need to watch out here for tomorrow, being Friday, for a possible severe weather event. So keep an eye on it. But today is not your day. Tomorrow will be. We'll talk more about that tomorrow when it gets there. But yeah. All right. Let's switch back over here to Australia. We're gonna go ahead and move our view all the way over here. Because, like I said, we got ourselves a pretty gnarly tropical cyclone that's rolling inland now. Like I said, it's getting close. It's getting real close to making landfall there. I mean, like I said, we're definitely starting to see those middle bands across the middle section of the cyclone right now. That's rolling through. Yeah, like this guy, definitely gonna bring some heavy rainfall with it. But like I said, right there from the coastline. Let's see here. I'm going to measure this real quickly. So the coastline starts right about there. Okay, so this might even be closer to landfall than I thought. So the land starts like right here. So that's like from right there. Oh, shoot, wrong thing. Let's see. This is approximately, or roughly, I should say. Yeah, about 30, maybe 30 to 40 mile an hour, 30 to 40 miles from the eye wall impacting the shoreline there. So if you don't know, this is what we call the eye wall. Oh my God, y'all! They just upgraded the risk for tornadoes to a 10% chance. Oh my gosh, that is some breaking news, my friends. They just extended. Wow, now there's a 10%, so that makes this an enhanced risk. Oh, shoot. Uh-oh. That's a bigger chance. Are they significant? They're not, which is good. But they increased. Oh, wow, dude. Goodness. Okay, now that's a pretty big deal, because that means that tornado probability has doubled. Oh, man. Well, there you go, y'all. 10% chance for tornadoes now expected across southwestern Georgia. So they just increased that tornado probability out there. Let's see. Yeah. Will Kentucky be okay? Yeah. Kentucky's fine. Once again, this is mostly just across the Gulf states. It's really getting affected today by this. Yeah, I'm surprised they just pulled that 10% risk. That's honestly shocking to me. Did they do anything else with it? No, they kept it the same. They just added that 10% risk out there. Here we go. So if you don't know what that is, like I said, that's a pretty big deal. It's now a severe threat level 3 out of 5. I even got to set that. Look at that, threat level 2 out of 5. I got to change that now. 3 out of 5. Like I said, that's a big risk. Well, there you go. Yeah, I'm really surprised they pulled that card. Like, holy cow. Like, that is nuts. That is really nuts. That's a lot to take in. Let's see here. Kyra, welcome. I hope I said your name right. Once again, I'm terrible with names, so like I said, no hard feeling if I said it wrong. But thank you for becoming a tropical stormer. Greatly appreciated. Say good morning, all. I don't know how my membership lapsed randomly. Thank you, Andrew, for covering the cyclone. I have a ton of friends over in Australia, so I've been checking on them. Well, I got you. Well, glad to have you here. Thank you so much. Kyra, maybe? I'm still questioning what I said as your name. Once again, I'm terribly sorry. Now I know I got one of them wrong, so sorry for that. Anyways, y'all, a little update here on the cyclone that's impacting northwestern Australia. As the latest update, did they update it yet? They did not. So it's still the same, 130 knots sustained, which is equivalent to 150 mile an hour sustained winds here. Sustained winds also, or for you guys, it's actually in kilometers per hour across Australia. So it's 241 kilometers an hour. So that's pretty. That's a pretty quick moving storm there. You can say that. Pretty nasty storm there. And like I said, in the latest satellite imagery, which I'll go ahead and bring you all back over to right now, latest satellite imagery, you notice how that eye went from visible to kind of fading out a bit. So, yeah, at this point, I don't even know if it's going to be doing an eye wall replacement cycle. I mean, it's getting relatively close to land there. It might even actually be weakening here. That might be good news. That might be good news. Actually, yeah, it might be a little bit weaker than we think. I mean, because like I said, that's good. Let's see. What about let's change this over to water vapor. I'm curious to see what the. Wow, look at that thing on water vapor. Oh yeah. So I don't know if y'all noticed this. If y'all pay attention really closely, you see this big old like black wall that's moving northeast. So that's a bunch of dry air, and it's moving very quickly, faster than the cyclone. So this is, while this cyclone moves inland, this big old wall is going to help increase the winds and actually help kill out the storm very quickly. So the good news is that this storm's going to die very quick as soon as it moves inland. That's great news. Yeah, no, that's crazy to look at there. Wow, dude. Yeah, a lot of thunderstorms out there too. I mean, on those outer bands. There we go. Oh, well that lasted. Yeah, long wave is the one you want to look at here. It really pulls out those colors. But yeah, like I said, the eye wall looks like it's collapsing a bit, which might be a good sign. Like I said, first of all, when I saw that, I thought it was undergoing a eye wall replacement cycle, which it might very well be doing, but it's running out of room because it's getting ready. It's about to make landfall, and as soon as that eye wall touches land, it's over. It's when it starts rapidly weakening. So that's a good thing. Yeah, that's a really good thing out there. Let's see here. So obviously, to my friends out there, let's see. We're gonna go ahead and change this back. Towards Port Hedland. Honestly, let's see. We're gonna play this in motion. So yeah, you can see how in the beginning of the frames, it looked like it was going directly south, right towards Port Hedland, but then it barreled eastward, which is good news. Here, let me follow that roughly. I'll wait till the next scan, but you'll see what I'm talking about whenever I draw it here. Here we go. So it tries south, and then it starts turning aggressively. So you can see how it follows directly south, and then boom, it just starts traveling. So it's like it was imitating, or what's the word I'm looking for? I don't even know what the word I'm looking for is, but it was going right there, heading straight for Port Hedland, and like I said, it obviously turned, which is good news. I mean, that's actually really good news, because I believe I did some research, and I think Port Hedland has like 10,000 so people. I could be wrong, a little over 10,000, I believe. Which, like I said, these portions luckily is not terribly populated from what I understand. I mean, I don't know much about Australia because, like I said, I'm a U.S.-based organization. But, like I said, this is just a system that we can never ignore. Seeing right at Cat 5. I mean, like I said, this thing is forecasted. It was forecasted to be a Cat 5 at landfall, but now I'm starting to question if it is or not. It might just be an upper-level Cat 4. We'll see. Let's see here. We are very cyclone-proof here up north. Well, that's good. That's good. Glad to hear that. All right, I'm going to switch y'all back here to the United States, because like I said, they just pulled a 10% risk here for tornadoes. Like, I am still really shocked that the National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center did that. So if you don't know what this is your overall tornado probability. And earlier, it was just a small little 5% risk, which is the brown color. And they extended it brown, and then they added a 10% chance for tornadoes across southern Georgia. So everywhere in the yellow, that's like the big area. That's like the biggest risk that has tornadoes here. Once again, speaking of tornadoes, we still have that storm that's kicking off there. Right now, it's likely producing a water spout here, but it's, you can kind of see, very hard to read, but that, I'm pretty sure that's right where that rotation is located. I mean, that's where it actually is, but might even be a water spout under that, and it could turn into, a tornado. That's why they have a tornado warning there. But it does look like it might be passing into the rural side, so that's good. Definitely some good news. But other than that, that's all we got going on right now. A bunch of wind gust reports here towards Panama City and Fort Walton Beach. Wind gust reports here 40 to 50 miles an hour, which, like I said, that's pretty strong wind gusts out there. Let's see, Kiaria. Oh, is it Kiaria? So it's like K-R-E-A. Okay. Hopefully dude, I am the only person that you'll see mess up a broken down version of your name. Wow, dude. Look at this. Yeah, that's satellite view. That eye goes away. You see it's solid and it just fades away. And like I said, that might very well be the last time we see the eye on this storm here. Yep, that might be the last time we see the eye on this here, because like I said, that eye wall, as you can see, I mean, dude, that is right on it. Let's see, so that's got to be close. I mean, that's got to be real close. Let's see, we're gonna bring back y'all the radar here. It's gonna be really close to the landfall. Let's see, I need to highlight. Let me turn off the radar here or at least move the radar for a moment, so that way I can actually draw the outline. Because like I said, when you have radar over it, it's really hard to see right where the coastline is. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of draw this outline of coastline in yellow here. That way it gives me a good representation of where we're looking at. Okay. Gotcha. So, let me measure this. So from the closest point of land to the inner eye wall, we're as little as 20 miles away. Wow. Miss Port Headland, north passing between De Grey and Pardue Station. Gotcha. Yeah, but on its closest point to land here, like I said, it's 20 miles away. And for the direction it's actually heading in, because like I said, it's actually moving. It was moving south, now it's moving southeast. Yeah, it did a sharp turn. So it's looking like it's going to be making landfall around these regions, which is about, at this point, it's about 35, 40 miles out, essentially. So at this point, it looks like this is the general vicinity it's going to be making landfall in. So right around in there is where it's going to be making landfall. So the good news is, like I said, it definitely spared areas in Port Headland, that's for sure. And honestly, like I said, from what I understand, wind conditions, okay, I was about to say they're not terrible. I mean, they're still not terrible. I mean, look at that, wind gusts up to 38 miles an hour, which, that's doable. I mean, that's really not terrible. 38 mile an hour wind gusts is, I mean, it's pretty gusty, don't get me wrong, but really not terribly bad. Really, really not terribly bad. I'm curious to see what the pressure is, though. 29.47. I do not know inches, and that's like the imperial version, I believe. Pretty sure inches of mercury is imperial, if I'm not mistaken. I go off of HPA or MB. So let's do 2 MB. Here we go. Okay, so that's 997 millibars. So that's like not even really low. That's not terribly low, but it's low, but it's not terribly low. Like I said, the interior portion. So this is 997 millibars right here towards Port Headland, the pressure. And for example, And the I, as the latest scan here, it is 929. That's very low. That's a very low pressure right there in the central Iowa. So, yeah. Port Headland itself is kind of not too low, which is good. Can't wait for hurricane season. That was my focus of studying college. Oh yeah, no, trust me, I agree. I love tropical systems. That's actually what I started learning about when I first got into meteorology. I started learning about tropical storms and hurricanes and all that stuff, and that eventually sparked me into severe weather events and eventually snowstorms. That's kind of the last thing I learned. Yeah, but pretty cool stuff. I mean, it's amazing. Super amazing. Also, the tools that you use as well. That's one of the things I really love about meteorology is like the tools and the programs and all that stuff. It's just so awesome. I mean, like this, having a 3D radar of what's going on inside the hurricane. I mean, you can see each individual rain band. It's just so cool. And especially if you know how they work, you can just see everything working in live view. It's just so cool. Such a cool thing. But yeah, no, you can actually see how symmetrical that eye was until latest scans. Like I said, that eye started going a little bit wobbly, as you can see, which is good. Let's see. Knox says, "What's up, Andrew? What's up? Hope we're doing good, man." But like I said, it's about 40 miles away from making landfall. Let's see. TRG says Port Headland is eh. That was the most accurate eh I've ever heard. Yeah. By the way, TRG, did you actually see they upgraded the SPC to a 10% risk now? I don't know if you saw that. Yeah, like I said, y'all, they actually upgraded the tornado threat today to a enhanced risk, a severe threat level 3 out of 5 for tornadoes. A 10% chance across southern, south central, and southwestern Georgia. Like, I was not seeing that card be played, honestly. I'm really shocked that they did that. I really am. I was not expecting that. But like I said, they also have a tornado watch, y'all, out here for the United States. Because like I said, we're not watching just this behemoth. But we're actually watching, this tropic or this subtropical system here in the Gulf of Mexico. In which, like I said, this guy expires at 2 p.m. Eastern. But yeah. Let's do a little update on this tornado warning. Like I said, we actually do have a tornado warning here in Florida on the eastern side here. A bit of rotation out there east of Panacea. I think that's how you pronounce that. Oh, wow. Yeah, definitely some strong velocities coming out of that. It's going to move inland. So basically, it's over water right now. This is showing some very, very strong winds and very strong turbulence. Yeah, like I said, that right there is all water right in here. And like I said, this is where it turns to land. So obviously they issued that tornado warning. But the good news is it looks like it's over mostly rural areas, which is good. Which I hope it stays that way. And I hope it does not turn into a tornado. Let's see. TRU says, sure did. I've been here since started. Can't believe today is going to be a bigger tornado threat than tomorrow and Saturday combined. Yeah, I know. I think tomorrow is heavily capped out. I really don't have much hope on tomorrow, but I do have a lot bigger hope actually for Saturday. I think Saturday is going to be more of a watcher than tomorrow, honestly. With that big old cap that's in place. At least from the models I looked at last night, anyways. I don't know if they've improved or not. I'd have to do more diving into that, but I'm sure knowing the models are probably still the same, mostly. But like I said, those inner rain bands from ILSA, is rolling inland. We're getting ready to here. Yeah, there's one of the middle rain bands here, heading towards Port Headland, I believe. Let's see. Okay. I don't know if it's going to reach it. I don't think it will. Honestly, I would not be surprised if the worst that you've seen from Port Hedland now, that might be some of the worst that you're going to experience here. Because the good news is that since these systems rotate clockwise in the southern hemisphere instead of counterclockwise, like the northern hemisphere that we're used to, so the winds are blowing away from the coast. So honestly, this is actually receding the coastline. So the water is actually getting pulled further back away from the coast. So like I said, in northern hemisphere, or sorry, southern hemisphere, they low pressure systems rotate clockwise, yeah. Which in the northern hemisphere, like in the United States, for the Atlantic and Pacific upper portions, they rotate the opposite, which is crazy. But yeah, that is why we do have got that rotation going on there. So, but like I said, obviously on the right hand side though, that's where these areas are getting blasted. I'm sure by oh wow, that's a big old marker. That's where these regions I'm sure are getting blasted by a lot of big waves. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of coastal flooding occurring out there, which I don't have any maps because, like I said, once again, I don't usually cover systems outside of the United States. And like I said, I'm really limited on the amount of info I can really pull in, so I don't know like how high the waves are expected, but I definitely know like the wind speeds, the pressure, all that stuff. Speaking of, it did not update. So last update is still of an hour ago, a little over an hour ago actually. So I don't. If it was my guess, I'd say it's probably weakening a little bit, or sustaining itself. One or the other. I don't see. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be strengthening anymore. I don't think so. We'll see. That's just a big we'll see what happens here. Regardless, it's going to be interesting. Very interesting. All right, let's see here. Tornado warning still in effect, although, yep, there you go. That velocity, that heavy area of strong winds is now moving inland. Once again, a very difficult radar to look off of right here. Let's try this one. I think this is still pretty far away from the storm. I just don't know if it's going to offer anything. Yeah, no, that does not work. Let's try KVAX. This is in southern Georgia. This might be a decent radar. And I stand corrected. No. I guess really we only have one choice, and that's Tallahassee. It's just really cluttered. Very cluttered and just gross to look at. But there's definitely some very strong strong inflow with this storm here, so very well could be. Radar indicator rotation, so still has not been confirmed yet by anybody, so that's good news. But like I said, it's now moving from the Gulf Coast, which is right here. Like I said, this right here is water, and then this is land. So. All right, let's bring y'all over here back to the satellite imagery. Wow, look at that, dude. Yeah, that eye is shrunk into a pinhole. I mean, that thing is like a little pinhole. See, here's the thing. Here's kind of my concerns. We're gonna pause this in the latest frame. A lot of this pink that you see here, all of this here is strong convection. So basically, a lot of heavy thunderstorm activity. So you could locally see some higher gusts out there. You know, maybe even higher than the initial eye wall strength. You know, especially right there off the coastline, like right next to the eye wall. I'm sure that could be gusting pretty heavy out there. And then, like I said, Port Hedland is actually lucky enough to be kind of right in here, away from the worst of it. So, like I said, you guys in Port Hedland, I tell you what, you definitely dodged a bullet with this one here. I mean, seriously, you guys could not have gotten any closer without having some serious effects. Not saying you're not, but I'm saying that it could have been a heck of a lot worse. Pretty rural. Yes, Andrew. The guys were surfing this afternoon. Gotcha. Mostly will be water flooding. Yes, I can imagine. I guarantee those seas is going to be huge. I do. Okay, here's what I can do for y'all. Here's what I might be able to do. So I have a model. ECMWF does support. I don't know if it supports it for areas here towards Australia. But let me look. So let's see. We have Indian. Ooh, I don't know if we're going to have it. Oh, here we go. Australia. That might be good. Okay, so I don't think it has wave height. It does have winds, though. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can see that thing making landfall there. That's crazy. Yeah, and then that wind shear increases. Very strong winds are going to be pulling into the southwestern side here too of the country. So, but anyways, that's that. Yeah, I was hoping that model would support the wave height potential. Yeah, this velocity is impossible to read. So they're probably just gunning it because there's just a big old compacted area of high velocities. And it's very difficult to see on radar here. I mean, like, nobody can make this out, really. Other than there's just some strong winds right in here. So that's... I mean... Yeah. At this point, we're just kind of strictly relying on, like, visual reports of this thing being confirmed. But I tell you what, that band there is really taking shape on radar now. Still got a lot of heavy wind gusts out there towards Panama City. Wind gusts here over, let's see. Oh, yeah. No, wind gusts are over 40. There's actually one for 50 here, so. Let's see. Still latest update 12 UTC. Interesting stuff. I'm going to try to reset this page, maybe. Let me... I don't know if I have to reload the page or what. No, I'm good. Yeah, still latest update I have here. Let's see. This warning still has, let's see, how much longer? Till 9:30 a.m. So it has 7 minutes to go until it gets expired. So it's almost done. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to end up continuing that. I mean, just a bunch of turbulent mess. Very difficult to see on radar there. Now, this isn't really doing much, but I'd say keep an eye on this little patch here, because it's definitely, it looks like some growing inbound velocities there. Now, right now, I don't see anything rotating, which is good, but I'd just keep an eye on it. Could be producing some gusty winds, I'll tell you what. That's a good possibility. And once again, everybody, like I said, they do have a tornado watch out there. And once again, they did upgrade that risk for tornadoes to a whopping 10% chance. Like I said, that's some pretty crazy stuff. So I definitely would believe that they're going to extend that watch or issue another watch later on, probably for these northern areas. Would not be surprised if they did. And like I said, I mean, like I even said there, it's not just a tornado probability there. There's actually a threat for, damaging winds, large hail as well. So that's something we should also take into consideration across those regions there. All right, let's see. So yeah, there's those inner bands right here. So right in here, I could have probably picked a better color than yellow, tracing over yellow. There we go. So these areas are the inner bands. So this is where you see the most strongest winds out of here. And like I said, those are the areas that we could be seeing those winds up to like 150 mile an hour sustained with higher gusts, possibly up to like 170. Which, like I said, it's 241 kilometers an hour, which is 150. Like I said, some of these inner bands is what really carries in the strong winds. Let's see. So we're gonna go ahead and zoom out a little bit. But yeah, like I said, if we're taking a look here at Australia from its western side here, we're gonna go ahead and kind of show you all this view. So this is basically, I'm going to show you all real quick. So this is north. This is south. Okay, this is east, and this is west. So, like I said, these systems rotate clockwise away. So the coastline goes something like this. Here, let me redraw that. Yeah, coastline goes something like that. And so, like I said, when it comes to it, the winds are wrapping in like this. So you got the winds pulling away from the coast. We're gonna make that a little smaller. The winds are pulling away from the coast, so obviously receding all that water deeper into the ocean. Then obviously wrapping back around. And like I said, at this side, it's basically throwing a bunch of winds at the coastlines here, which obviously that's causing a lot of flooding, a lot of coastal flooding. So a lot more water is being pushed further inland over here, and a lot of the water is actually being pulled back over here. So it's like a big old S, essentially. Hopefully that makes sense. It'd be a little bit better if I drew this on a 2D perspective here. So basically, like I said, all these, with these systems rotating clockwise in the southern hemisphere, you know, the winds are the water is receding further away from the coast, and like I said, on the other side it's like this. So basically the winds are pounding against the coastline on the right hand side, and then the winds are pulling the water away from the western side. Hopefully that makes sense. That's pretty much what's happening right there. So yeah, if you're on the coastlines, you're probably going to be expecting, or probably going to be seeing quite a bit of nastiness out there, especially on the right-hand side there. So I say we watch that closely. Let's see. Still latest update 12 UTC. Yep, latest update has this thing at an upper level category 4. 929 millibars with a central low of 929. And maximum winds 130 knots or 150 miles an hour. So that's sustained. That's constant winds. But to my friends out there, you guys read kilometers an hour. So it's actually right at 241 kilometers an hour. It's in the top left. Like I said, it's just a few mile an hour off from being a Cat 5 here. Oh. Yep, they're getting ready to cancel this tornado warning we have in the U.S. Oh, they just did. All right. There you go. You have it. Yeah, they just completely dumped the warning. They didn't need it. Yeah, it seemed like it was weakening. As soon as it moved inland, it just kind of lost everything from what it. Like I said, it was very difficult to read that signature, anyways. Once again, if y'all are joining us, we have a big old tornado watch across the areas, or I would say big. It's actually a pretty small tornado watch, but it's a tornado watch across Panhandle, Florida, southwestern Georgia, and southeastern Alabama. And like I said, they actually increased the tornado probability for today to a 10% risk across the areas in yellow, which is basically south central and southwestern Georgia, which pretty crazy. White Wolf says, hello, everyone. What's up, White Wolf? Hope you are well. Glad to have you here. Let's see. All right, so let's see the forecast, latest forecast that came out here. Wow. Okay, so they have the gusts here up to the latest forecast here, on this system here for ILSA. Latest forecast here actually keeps it at 130 knots. So right what we're seeing right now is probably the strongest it's going to be. So it's actually weakened a bit. So we're seeing 130 knots, which is 150 miles an hour or 240 kilometers an hour. Maximum wind gusts up to 160 knots, though. Let's see. 160 knots is what? Holy cow. So wind gusts up to 185 miles per hour. Which 185 mile an hour to... Oh, let's see. So that's nearly 300 kilometers an hour. In terms of wind gusts out there. Like, that is crazy. That is, like, ridiculous winds. Wow. Oh, we got a 48 mile an hour wind gust reported here in Panama City. Just a few moments ago. Not too long ago, I'd say. Or, never mind. No, this was a while ago, actually. Just now getting it, though. Interesting. Panama City Weather Stem reports 48-mile-an-hour wind gusts in the county of Bay, Florida. Interesting stuff. Yeah, it's really interesting to look at the satellite views. Look at this in the bottom left. See my cursor right there? I mean, look at these. A big old line of just convection popping off. And I don't know if y'all can see this area here. See how it's like orange? That's like a bunch of dry air. So that's why you're not seeing any precipitation out there. It's because it's just a big old streak of dry air that's basically infiltrating. And of course we have this like thin little convective line. Even a little bit of activity popping off right in here. You can see that very faintly. So that's some more storm activity that's popping off there inside of the sat view. All right. Let's move on back here to ILSA, the main star of the show tonight. One of the main stars of the shows tonight. Why do I say tonight? This morning. I am so used to streaming. Every time I stream, I've streamed basically in the evening, afternoon, as early as like 5 a.m. sometimes, or 5 p.m. sometimes. One question: is there any population areas in the way of the Hurricane Cat 5? So like I said, there is or what was it called? Port Headland. This area was, like I said, it really dodged it. The good news is like I said, a lot of these regions in the direct landfall zone is in pretty low populated areas here, which is good, which is great. Oh, wow. So we got some reports of Mobile, Alabama wind gusts up to 36 mile an hour. Pressure is at 1,002 millibars. Which that leads me to take a look at this meso. Oh, wow. Look at that. Cyclone, wow, is now making landfall in the U.S. Officially. It's officially now making landfall. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and switch you all over here to the meso analysis real quickly. Yeah, look at this. Let me bring this southeastward so y'all can see that a little better. But look at that. Now that cyclone is now officially in the U.S. Right over Mobile right now, and it's saying 1,002 millibars. And what do you know? Look at this. Hover that. See that altitude? Kind of right there in the middle of the thing says 1,002.7 millibars. There you go. That is the low. That is the central low. 1,002 millibars right now. So, yeah, just to put this in perspective of how strong these two systems are in comparison, they cannot be compared at all, okay? But just to show you, this is 1,002 millibars, right? Which that's a respectable low pressure system. With ILSA, on the other hand, with this behemoth, pressure's at 929. And for an example, average pressure is around 1,013 millibars. That's normal. 1,013 millibars is normal. Not high, not low. And then we have that 1,002, which is, like I said, it's a decent low. It's respectable. And then you have this guy, 929. Really goes to tell you. Really, really goes to show you just how powerful this system is. Judy says Port Headland has about 15,000 people. That is correct. Yes, it does. Yeah, like I said, they really dodged a bullet there, y'all. I mean, seriously, look at this. So if we go back, I'm actually going to drop back like 75 frames here, so it goes back a little bit further. But look, so watch the track. I mean, it goes directly south, and it just takes an emergency right. Kind of does like a 45. Look at this. So it tracks southward, actually almost a little southwestward, and then it starts really turning. See what I'm saying? It almost goes like directly south, and here's Port Headland right there. I mean, it is going right towards it until it just barrels. It just manages to pull away. And I can't tell you how much good news that would be for Port Headland to the people who live there. Yeah, I'm sure they're definitely getting some gusty winds out there. And let's see, latest report out there. Let's go ahead and remove all this clutter. Okay. Wow, look at that. So sustained winds, so constant winds are at 25 miles an hour with gusts up to 37. So that in, see, 25 mile an hour. So that is 40 kilometers per hour sustained. So constantly blowing at 40 kilometers per hour. And maximum wind gusts is up to 37. So that's 60 kilometers per hour maximum winds, like wind gusts. That eye is starting to kind of lose its symmetrical shape, though. You'll see that? It's not as beautiful and circular as it was. I mean, look right here a few frames ago compared to now. See, that's starting to kind of lose its shape. It's because a lot of the inner eye wall is starting to move inland, starting to kind of have some frictional drag with the land. Because the land has terrain, so it's kind of, the friction's kind of slowing it down. That's why they rapidly weaken, is a part of that, and the fact that they don't have the waters under them to give them that heat from the ocean surface. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's early. I'm running on low sleep, y'all, so if I'm a little wonky, that's why. But just saying. Anyways, but yeah, that's good news, meaning that eye is starting to kind of destabilize a bit. Still the latest info. 929 millibars. That is good news. Yeah, and like I said, back over at the satellite, you can see that eye is diminishing. I mean, look at how small it is. Look at that itty bitty little eye right there. Itty bitty little pinhole. Compared to going back here, you can see how it's just kind of shrunken. I mean, it looked a lot more healthier right here at this frame. At 820Z. So about 4 hours ago or so. Yeah, I mean, it goes from that to that. You can see how it's kind of struggling a bit. See that? Yeah, it's starting to run into that problem. It's not liking it. the hurricane is not liking it one bit, or the cyclone, same thing. Yeah, it's really not liking the fact that it's getting suffocated. It also appears to be picking up some speed too, and that's expected. Because like I said, if we take a look here back at the water vapor view, you see this big old air mass, like I said, this big old black wall that's moving northeast. Yeah, like I said, that's actually the dry air. It's going to start picking up it's going to start pushing that cyclone inland more. So basically what's happening here is, this guy's tracking in this general direction, and this big old air mass is just going to be pushing it and kind of amplifying it out this way. So it's going to kind of whoop. Do something like that, so mostly will be inland flooding. So here's the thing. Here is the thing. When it comes to the accumulations out of this, I thought I had that thing open. I guess I don't. But when it comes out to the accumulation too, I'm gonna go ahead and bring you all over here to this view. Make it look a little bit better. Let me do that now. There we go. Australia. Here's the American GFS model. When it comes to like precipitation, coastal is possibly going to get up to like 141 millimeters, which, like I said, I'm so bad that I'm so used to the imperial system on some things. Yeah, personally, like I said, I go off of like HPA or millibars, which is, I don't think it's imperial. I think that's actually metric. Fahrenheit, yeah. Unfortunately, I go just the way I was taught. But let's see here. So he said 140 inches. What? Oh, that's meters. Oh my gosh, dude. I was about to lose it. I thought this is 5,500 inches. That's not meters. I need millimeters. There we go. 5.5 inches. That's, yeah, you gotta move the decimal a bit. I did learn that. But my goodness, That's pretty crazy. I mean, it could be a lot worse if it's obviously the faster the storm motion, the less amount of rain you're going to be getting out of it, you know. So that's good. But still, 5 inches of rain, that's a lot. It's kind of the maximum potential according to the GFS. Yeah, that's just crazy. I mean, just look at that thing roll on in. Man. That's just beautiful. That is a beautiful but nasty sight to see. Let's see. I think it's getting real close to landfall here. Like official landfall. Let's see, so this is right where the coastline is. Oh. I need to get a new mouse because it cuts out a lot. So let's see. Coastline is right roughly in here. Okay. And then we switch back to this guy. Okay, so yeah, once again, from the southernmost eye wall. Okay. That is 15 miles away from the closest. Yeah, from the closest portion of land from the eye wall is 15 miles. But it's tracking like southeast in this direction. So it's like 30, 35 miles away from the area it's getting ready to make direct landfall over. Yeah, there it goes. Okay. So the eye wall is, expected to possibly even go into these regions here. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I need a new mouse because it keeps on cutting out like that. But you see, that's kind of where the area is right there. So that's kind of where the eye is going to probably track into. Let's see, we're doing 50 frames. Let's drop down to 30 frames now so I can get that latest scan. Oh yeah, that looks good. Perfect. Yep, so those regions right there is kind of where landfall is expected. Let's see how big the eye wall is now. I want to see how big the eye is. So from eye wall to eye wall is 17 miles. From this side to this side. Oh, from this side to this side, 17 miles. So yeah, it's not symmetrical anymore. It's been raining already inland, very dry on land. Very dry land. Yeah, I hear you more now. Actually, let's go ahead and remove all this. If I was to grab a radar out there towards you, or the closest ones I can do. Here's the thing. Areas of Australia, I've noticed, does not have good radar coverage. I mean, see how small the radars are? I mean, there's a big radar gap right there. But the most populated area of Australia is in the southeastern or the eastern side, I believe. Like Sydney, I think, is one of the most unpopulated areas in Australia. Could be wrong, but anyways, didn't mean to do all that. Yeah, that is definitely pretty crazy. I mean, it's, like I said, it's getting close to making landfall here. Like, officially. The following broadcast is a special weather statement issued by the National Weather Service in Tallahassee, Florida. A strong thunderstorm will impact portions of western Wakulla, southeastern Liberty, and north-central Franklin counties through 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Gotcha. At 9:16 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. All right. I mean, it is right there. Yeah, this line is something we need to watch for. Like this area right here. This is what we need to watch out for. Because, like I said, you can expect some water spouts and even a few tornadoes out of this region. Huh. See, Western Australia is sparse, Andrew. Gotcha. Yeah, I figured it was. I figured West Australia. So it's mostly the more further east you go in Australia, the more populated it gets, essentially. Ooh. Okay, so one of these bands, y'all, is getting ready to move towards Tallahassee from what it looks like. Yeah, that storm kind of faded out. That had that tornado warning. It just kind of died. But we gotta watch this line because it's eventually gonna be moving towards like Tallahassee. Yeah, it's these lines that carry that tornado threat. Got a 40-mile-an-hour wind gust reported here in the central panhandle here, southwest of ILSA. I'd say probably like 20 miles southwest, something like that. Ronald says hi. What's up, Ronald? Hope you are good. Yeah, like I said, I'm kind of like dulling the systems, y'all. Like I said, got Australian storm we're watching, which is ILSA, and then like I said, we're obviously watching we're watching the U.S. too for a tornado threat from a cyclone, a subtropical cyclone. It's moving inland from the Gulf. And like I said, they actually put a tornado watch on that here for Tallahassee regions. Yeah, Panama City. Yeah, they have the biggest tornado threat right across the yellow here. So basically south central and southwestern Georgia is where the biggest one is. Partly cloudy. A chance of showers with a slight chance of thunderstorms in the evening. Then a slight chance of showers after midnight. Lows in the lower 60s. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. All right. Chance of rain 40%. Well, I hate to be the person to do this, y'all, but I think we're probably going to head off here for now. Like I said, we've been laughing for about 2 hours. I tell you what, I'm gonna be straight up honest with y'all. I did not get like hardly any sleep at all last night. I'm tired, so think we're gonna call it a time for now. But later on, when I wake up, I get some more sleep. Later on this evening, we're gonna be doing some more coverage. I'll be doing some more coverage. We'll be doing some more forecast and all that stuff. So we'll be talking with y'all then. What's a cyclone, says Ronald. So, Ronald, cyclone is, like I said, a cyclone is basically the same thing as a hurricane. Hurricane, cyclone, typhoon, same thing. TRG says, am I going to stay live for the next 5 to 6 hours? That answered your question right there. That literally answered your question right there, TRG. It's funny you said that. But yeah, no, I am whooped, man. I seriously, as much as I would love to, if I was full of energy, I would. Like I said, if I was full of energy, I would. But I'm just out of it. I'm definitely just out of it. Morna says, thank you, Andrew. No problem, Morna. Anytime. Like I said, I would love to be here longer. But the good news is that, like I said, I wouldn't say it's really good news, but we covered the worst of it, essentially. Obviously, it still has a long way to go. It still has not made direct landfall yet, but it's going to be here. Judy says, have a good nap. Thank you, Judy. Greatly appreciate it. We'll be back on later on tonight, y'all. Or later on, whenever I get up. Whatever time that be. Probably, I'll probably wait a little bit. It'll probably be sometime this evening. I'll come back on live here, so. Alrighty. Well, y'all take care. Once again, thank you. Greatly appreciate it. Y'all absolutely rock. Like I said, stream's heading off here in 2 minutes, my friends. So if y'all have anything to say to your friends and family, go ahead and say it now. Be greatly appreciated. And once again, thank you. Let's see if Asper says ILSA is near my area. Well, stay safe out there, my friend. If you have any questions, like I said, feel free to join our Discord and stuff like that. And then, like I said, we'll help you out there. Because like I said, obviously, we'll keep you updated. TRG says don't sleep the whole day. Yeah, trust me. I'm going to try not to. But I'll probably be live here later on for like the later portion of the event. So. All right, y'all. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. So we love y'all out there. Please stay safe. Listen on both of the systems here. And all right. Well, y'all take care. And we'll see you guys here later on. Peace out, my friends. See you later.
Winds in excess of 40 miles per hour. Source, radar indicated. Impact, gusty winds could knock down tree limbs and blow around unsecured objects. Locations impacted include East Camp, Jewel Fire Tower, Poplar Camp, Morgan Place, Smith Creek, Yen Place, Twin Pole, Sanborn and Owens Bridge. If outdoors, consider seeking shelter inside a building. The storm may intensify, so be certain to monitor local radio stations and available television stations for additional information and possible warnings from the National Weather Service. A tornado watch remains in effect until 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for Big Bend of Florida. Small craft advisory in effect until 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time or 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time this morning. Gale warning is canceled. What? Southeasterly winds 20 to 30 knots with occasional gusts up to 35 knots. Seas will range from 6 to 12 feet. Where? Gulf waters from the Walton-Okaloosa County line to the Ocklackney River out 60 nautical miles. When? Until 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time or 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time this morning. Impacts. These hazardous conditions may result in poor vessel handling and steering response, broaching, overturned dinghies and kayaks, slips and